Yo, how's everyone doing? So I thought I would sort of jump on and do a little bit more explaining about what's been going on recently, because it was all going great guns and then we've had to sort of slow down a little bit. We've got some news about our house that we've sold. And I thought I'd just jump on because it's been such an amazing community what you guys have been, and sort of go through some of the questions and comments that you've left me on the videos. Now, obviously, it's been a pretty overwhelming, really, I suppose, the response from you guys about what we're trying to do and all the rest of it. And I've realised that I've had a bit of a dip in the positivity, I suppose, in some ways. Just thinking about how hard this is actually going to be. It's been really tough. Just mentally trying to keep on track with everything. And the realization that what I'm trying to do is not easy. It's really not easy. And the more people I speak to are going, "Oh, you're mad. I don't know how you're going to do this." But I am determined. We're going to do this. We're going to make it happen. And I'm going to share everything on how I'm going to do it. Now, I'm going to keep you up to date. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm keeping you guys up to date with everything that's going on in the process of what we're at and where we're at right now. And also just go through some of the comments and stuff that I've had on some of the videos. And like I say, we've been overwhelmed with the level of support from you guys as well. It's been, if anything, a really driving force on pushing people and pushing us to continue down this path. Which is what we know is the right thing to do. So it is tough, really tough. Mister, how you doing? It's evening, guys. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm all good. It's just, there's a lot going on at the minute. So it's been really hard. So update, me and Shal have found it incredibly tough at the minute because we cannot find anything. We've searched everywhere. We cannot find anything that's reasonable and of good, I wouldn't even say good value. It's not even that it's close value. Just finding anything as an option for a start is really hard. So the buyers of our house are getting naturally frustrated, as I can completely understand, and we're probably going to lose the sale of this house, being honest. There's no point hiding anything about it because I want to share how the ups and the downs along the journey of all this. That's why I've sort of jumped on and do a few more lives on a Sunday evening, trying to keep everybody in the loop. So yes, we're probably going to lose the sale of this, and that sucks. It really sucks, and I get it, but I understand from their point of view, and I really want them to have it. They really want to have it, but obviously this is not a normal process of what we're trying to do. It's trying to do the unthinkable, I suppose, in some way. So I just got loads of comments coming out. I'll just go through some of these. Mister, I've been busy trying to get some veg started in my small back garden. Mate, good for you. Absolutely spot on. Like I say, the more you keep pushing forward, it's something small, so rewarding as well. James Preston, can you give me a shout out? Certainly can, mate. Yes, how you doing? So we're struggling a little bit with the psychological side of it. Should have sort of say anything else. It's really tough when you cannot, like I say, every day I search. So I own a construction company. So I go out to work and I think of nothing but what's my next move. And every night when I get back, I will be searching till the early hours in the morning, trying to figure out, maybe will that work? But some of the stuff that's been coming up is like just a little bit outside our area. So we want to kind of tie it into about half an hour's drive from where we are. So it's a pain. Now, I have got one more lead. I think one of the shooting estate, which I might have mentioned previously, I don't think that's going to be a goer either. Now, looking at it, coming back for that, it's been really tough to try and comprehend that. So that would have probably worked, but I think there's tax issues and things like that, so I don't think that's going to work for us on their part, not us, which is a bit of a shame. So I'd like to stay within the area, but I think what I'm now having to do is we've registered with every single estate agent going up to an hour's radius, really, of where we are. We're on all their mailing lists. Now we get sent some lovely houses. I don't want a house. I'm not even bothered about the house. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care. I can build that. It's everything else. It's just really the land, and we've even started compromising a little bit, a bit too much, I'd say, on some of the stuff that we're looking at. And you're thinking, actually, why am I doing that? Why would I want to compromise so much so on the lack of land, which isn't what I want. I don't want to. If I'm going to do this, I might as well do it properly. So one of my customers, who again is a subscriber to the Hard Hat Farmer, so he's followed us and then jumped on to my other thing. We've been out to work, look at doing some really cool work for him as well, which is really cool. But it's frustrating because one of the things that he needs doing is he needs his track regrading and all the rest of it, which is great because if I owned my farm, I'd have a grader. If the farm that we were going to buy, if that had come off, I would have already had a grader to go on the back of the tractor. And I said to him, and it's a little bit frustrating. So those sort of tie on. I know I'm in the right course for everything because that could have been obviously a job for my daughter. Obviously, when as she gets older, that's another little side hustle sort of thing for her. Yeah, so it's frustrating. Right, let's go through some of these comments. James, yeah, you good. Just liked the stream and subscribed to you. Oh, thank you very much. You like mountain biking? Yeah, we're into mountain biking as well when we get a chance. We go to Cannock Chase quite a bit. We quite like it there. If you haven't tried that, that's a really, really good place, in fairness, to go. I'll tell all my friends and family to subscribe to support you. Yeah, that'd be wicked. If you don't mind, share the living daylights out of it. That'd be awesome. That's James. That's 1.44 thousand real people that have really enjoyed your vids and subscribed. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love doing it, mate. So that's why I need to keep it going. Mr. Don't lose hope, dude. You'll find the right place for you. Yeah, 100%. Thanks, mate. Hi. How you doing? Yeah, so it's really it's tough, and I think for me, I wanted to share when we're having like the highs and the lows. I wanted to try and share both sides of it because we have been a bit upset. Like last weekend, we were a bit upset because it's like obviously the chat of losing the sale of our house, and what we're going to do, and there was talks. Do we just compromise and just pause this for now? I don't want to do that. No one knows what's around the corner. And I said to Cheryl, like, at the end of the day, if it falls through, it falls through. I've got a lovely home. This is a lovely house that I live in. Like I'm fortunate that it is a nice house. So I don't have to worry in that sense. It will sell quickly. So I don't have to worry. But I don't want to then give up. If I'm going to do this, I want a farm, and I also want other people who potentially to watch this, like you guys right now, to watch this and go, do you know what? If he's going to do it, I'm going to give it a go. And that's what I'm trying to share with you as much as I can, to go, yeah, this is, hey, if Mike's done it, then maybe it's our time to have a look. And you never know. Somebody might message me and say, oh, Mike, I've been looking at a house and it's in this area, and I might have found something, but it's out of my range. So yeah, so it's a bit of a tough one, really. It's a bit of a really bit of a tough one to try and comprehend. But all I'm gauging is there must be so many people who want to do this, and by the looks of all the comments and stuff that we've got, is you are all on this journey with us, and I really appreciate it. it's wicked. I mean, I get a better community feel from this than I do for my my other channel, which is because a lot of the other channels, a lot of negativity about, you know, trades and all that sort of stuff, and people going, oh yeah, it's not. You're not doing it the right way. You're not doing this, that, and the other, and it's a bit frustrating. But you get that. That's what it is. So yeah, so I thought I would just go through some of the comments and stuff quickly that I've had. Hopefully checking in to make sure you guys are still enjoying all of the channel. So the video that has just gone out, that went out I think about an hour ago, and that was a genuinely off the cuff. There's nothing more fancy to it other than I just picked Lexi up from the farm because it was on her farm placement day through her doing her level 3. And it genuinely is one of the happiest times of the week for me. It's brilliant. You know, I really, really enjoy it. And it's one of those moments where you get to enjoy it. And it's just, as a dad, it's a real problem. Not if you don't enjoy it, why are you doing it? And I think this is, and for me, getting the download from her is just brilliant. So yeah, I'll just go through some of these comments right now. I'm not in a position to buy anywhere, but I'm on the waiting list for an allotment. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, so they're obviously a much smaller scale, but they can be a little bit of a hard work to get into. It's usually when someone dies, isn't it, on allotments, from what I remember. Bloxwich Spring Garden, hi. How you doing? You right? I'm going to be terrible if I was... Cadrafara, hi. Yeah. Oh, it looks like you've gone a bit mental for some reason. Well, I mean, why would you bother? Oh, come on, have a word with yourself. So yeah, so picking up Lexi is great because she's been given an opportunity that you don't normally get, and it was the first work placement. She has to get 150 hours, which is all voluntary, by the way, and she has absolutely smashed that out. She has really, really done well, and to the point now where she doesn't log any more hours. And the reason why she doesn't log any more hours is because she doesn't want to like give it up. She's also learning how to drive now, which is amazing. And once she passes her test, she said she'd quite like to go and help out on a dairy farm, so she can get a little bit more of a experience from that side of things, which is really, really cool. But I'd just like to have a big shout out to Paul, really. So Paul is the farmer that she is currently doing her work placement for. And Paul has been fantastic. Him and his family have been absolutely amazing. And Lottie, who works with her, she's been absolutely brilliant with just taking Lexi under her wing and showing her stuff that you just don't get taught at college. You know, I think that's one of the things that's... yeah, it's really remarkable about the farming community, and that's just, and trying to get involved in it as much. The deeper I'm getting into that side of it, the more I'm leaning into it and going, actually, this is a community that it's a little bit similar to like rugby, where when you're on the inside, when you're in the inside of a rugby club, and you're in with that, you are really are infiltrated, and it's that family ethos, and everyone mucks in together and gets stuck in, and one for all and all that sort of stuff. And that is definitely what I'm picking up from the farming community, in fairness. So yeah, so that is what I'm enjoying, in fairness. So I'd like to say I've got more content at the minute for looking at specific farms. We haven't. We've got another video in the pipeline at the minute, just explaining a little bit more in depth about all of the where we're up to right now. I'm going to do a video at some stage, if you guys want it, on the finance side of things. And I have mentioned it in a previous video, but I haven't really got round to it because we've got, like I say, there's a lot of pressure and stuff on at the minute. if you want me to do a video on how I'm going about financing the farm, what company I'm planning on using, and all the rest of it, then let me know. Just put it in the comments below, and I'll try and make that happen as clear as I can. I've got my business plan already in place. I just need to adapt it now to whatever farm that we end up with. But I have to act really quick. So when I see something, I have to act rapid, alter all the plan. That's why I go a little bit sort of dark, I suppose, from here. But that's why they've been a little bit hit and miss. So I do apologise. Mr. Best option I have been told is to just go and speak to farmers, and if they know of any farms for sale. Yeah, so that is definitely what I've been doing. So every farmer that I know, so obviously you imagine within the rugby club as well, there's generally a lot of farmers and farmers' sons and all the rest of it that you get to know. So I've got all the feelers out on the local area as well. So they're all asking around and seeing whether they know anybody. And because people obviously know that I do with socials as well, they're all going, oh, do you know such and such? I think they had some land. I mean, we went into a garden centre the other week, and because the owner's son is into Land Rovers, we've got a common interest, because he looked at my last Land Rover I had and all the rest of it, and we saw him the other weekend. He's like, oh, actually, I think there might be somewhere a bit further out around the corner from here, which is fine, which is amazing, because then he's like, oh, I'll keep my eye out and stuff for something. But that particular property, because we act on everything. So anyone says to me, oh yeah, I've got this, have you heard of that? I act on everything. So looked at that one that he was saying, it only comes with, I think it was 1.5 acres, which isn't going to work for us. Yes, we could buy it in what, obviously to do with selling this house and all the rest of it, but it's not really the point. There's no point really doing it. Just, I'm either all in or all out. So I might as well wait. And I know that goes against the grain for me, because I'm very impatient and also very impulsive. So I found a new website as well. I found a new website which seems to be a little bit easier to navigate for land and farms for sale as well. So so watch this space. Mr. What sort of size farm are you looking for? So realistically, what I would ideally like to start out with about a 50-acre farm. Around that sort of size works well for the numbers for the agricultural loan. Now, preferably with a house. Doesn't have to have a house on it, but preferably with a house, just because it just makes my life a little bit easier. But barns are kind of essential. So it's, if I don't have a barn and it's just land, I could easily go and do that. That's not a problem. There is land and stuff for sale that I can go and buy, but I need to live on site for what type of farm I want to run. I need to be living on site. If not, it's just going to be really, really hard work, with obviously my business, family commitments and all the rest of it. So for me, in a dream world, it'll be under £1 million, farmhouse, some barns, 50 acres. That would be the dream. And yeah, that would be absolutely unreal. If we could get that, then it's not really, it's great. So if it hasn't got a house, this is the plan. Because we're raising livestock, obviously there's certain areas you have to hit, right? So you have to prove that you need a place to be living on that land, you have to have a actual reason for it. And one of the reasons for it is obviously having livestock on there, that you have to be present, okay? Now, you're not going to get that with having 10 chickens. They don't care. That's not really a viable reason for having permission to have like a static caravan and things like that. So what you'd normally do, you buy your land, you got barns, you put planning permission on to put a temporary home on there, which is your static caravan, that sort of thing. So you put that on there, and then you'll have that up to 3 years, I believe it is, for a static home. But in that process time, you need to have your livestock on there. So whether that's a flock of sheep, pigs, cattle, all these sorts of things that we want anyway, and chickens. So you've got multiple avenues to go. No, look, I need to be here on the farm. If I'm not on the farm, we've got a welfare issue with livestock, which you are actually entitled to keep. And also, you need to prove that you're running it as a business. It's not a hobby. It's actually a business that you're looking for. Whereas if you were just doing that and it's just like, I just want to own a few animals to butcher and do them for yourself, it's not really a business. So that it's tricky to navigate, and you have to get that right. So if you don't, you are going to get yourself in a whole world of problems. And then once you've been on there and you've proved that you're doing this, it doesn't have to be 3 years in my understanding. Now, obviously, you guys let me know in the comments below if I am a little bit slightly out. That's absolutely fine. I'm learning, so if I'm out, then tell me. So in that time, you can then apply for planning permission for either a home with agricultural ties, which is, again, fine because that is what you're doing and it's tied to the farm as such. Or you can do your Class Q, which is your planning permission for your barns, to convert one of your barns. So there's loads there. So in some ways, it's easier for me to have no house on there because I can build my own house that's purpose built for us as a family, what works for us. Because a lot of the homes that we have seen around on farms are absolutely rough as hell, and they practically need pulling down anyway. So you end up paying a large proportion of money towards a house that's actually a load of rubbish, and would be cheaper for especially someone like me to pull it down and start again. You can even get your pre-built houses off site, which are up once the foundations, footings, all that lot are up within a week, and you're done. There's all these sort of avenues that you can look at, which is definitely something that we would pursue if need be. But I quite fancy building my own, or a bit more of an eco house if I can, when the time comes. But so it is a tricky minefield. But like I say, I'd like to genuinely put out is thanks to you for showing you support. It's been brilliant. The support that we've had from you, it's been really humbling. And I think last week, because I used to be, like I say, I'll be honest with you, I used to be a mental health sufferer. No longer, I would say, fall into that category, nowhere near what I used to be. And I caught myself last week just staring out into space, not really getting motivated with anything. I've let a lot of things get on top of me rather than doing things to change it, I suppose, in some ways. And I think that's one of the things so I've now addressed it, now realised that I'm slipping back into that world, and that's not what I want to do. Remember why I'm doing this. This is a focus for me. So there's going to be some changes, going back to the gym, that's going to be on, because if not, I'm going back to play rugby, because I need to focus on something that's going to give me a better health, which will mean I have less time for allowing the demons back in, which is something I can't afford to do, and I won't ever go back to where I was before. So, and I know it's a little bit uncomfortable for some people when you talk about that sort of thing, but I think for me, obviously in the construction industry, it's really, really bad. And it's very, very important for people to talk about mental health and their struggles in life and all the rest of it, and especially even more so in farming and all the rest of it, because again, it is equally as bad, if not worse, than trades in itself. So this is why, I'm okay to talk about it, and it's brought a lot of other people across all the socials that we do. It's brought a lot of people comfort to know that they are not alone, and you just got to find your thing that will help you along the way. So that is one of mine, is trying to help others and be open about it. So that's what I do. So Mr. I find that doing the gardening and growing things helps with my mental health issues. 100%. And it's that reward. And I think that's the other thing, is that it's having that reward for things that you've done and put your own effort and energy into, that all of a sudden you're seeing that flourish, that's got to be really, really rewarding. So for us, one in the business side of things, looking from when we've gone from something that's hideous to then building something quite spectacular, because we do all domestic work rather than, we don't do commercial work at all. That is really, really rewarding for us. And also things like doing this, like right now, that's actually massively rewarding for me to say, hey, I'm helping other people, to inspire them, I suppose, stupidly. I don't know whether I want to follow this guy, but hey. I love it when I harvest my veg that I've grown. Yeah, I bet you do. So Steve, my business partner, right, he has turned a massive part of his garden, which again, he's sold his house now. He's looking to move to something bigger. He grows loads and loads and loads of his own veg and stuff like that. He one, for health reasons, that he does it all. And the pleasure he gets from that is incredible. And yeah, he's moving house, and he's end up going to be doing a lot more, in that he's going to start again in some ways. But the pleasure he's had from that is brilliant, you know. And some of the stuff he builds is unreal. How nice it is, a really, really nice setup. But obviously, we want to do that on a much bigger scale. So for me, it's obviously more livestock than it is anything else. But the reward of rearing your own livestock, doing your best for that animal while you've got it, keeping it safe, keeping it nurtured, and then doing the ultimate thing of putting that into the food chain and eating it ourselves, you know, that is what it's all about. You know, that is the ultimate goal, you know, and getting to taste that difference and knowing full well that you've got the best out of that animal and it's had the best quality of life that it could have possibly had with you. And that's the things that I'm really looking forward to. And I think that's something that we want to share with the kids. The kids want to do the same, have the same mentality with it all. And you know, and I think it's important, because how many kids now don't realise where meat comes from, and they don't realise that, you know, all the process behind it. They just think that it comes in this little packet and everything has to fit in a packet that's yay big. And if it doesn't fit in there, it's deemed no good. I mean, it's just ridiculous, really. But that's the world we live in. I mean, I've got some really, really great ideas. I just need the opportunity to find a farm that I'm willing to pay for. It's not that I'm trying to get anything for free off anyone. I just want to pay my own way. I just want a chance, I suppose. That's what I'm after. So I thought I'll try and jump on and, like I say, have a little chat on here about some of the comments and stuff that I've had. So Mike Johnson. So obviously these are just generic comments that we've had over the multiple videos that we've done, whether they're shorts or not. So we've got Mike Johnson. Where's that in Scotland? So when we went up to Scotland, so I've got family that is north of Edinburgh. So it's in Fife where I've been. And we went up there to explore a farm that had potential, but also it was to meet up with a farmer called John. And what an amazing guy and experience that was, is just spending some time with John and going through things one-on-one, just me and him, while his family was taking my family around the farm, having a look at what he's done or what they're trying to achieve now. And him giving me some real world advice about farming, and which was, there was no hidden agenda, no anything. And it was something to me that I'll never ever forget, the advice that he gave me. And we're actually going back up there in the summer, and I'm actually going to stop on his farm as well now, and hopefully I'll be able to do a few days work for him as well up there while I'm there. Yes, all right, it's my holiday, but what better holiday that is to get some hands-on experience with what John's trying to do. So I will be hopefully filming that if we can. But what an amazing time that was. So thanks, Mike, for that. So 3204 Clive Sinclair. So he's put pass on this one, the noise alone. So we went to look at a farm and that had a boundary on the M69. Now that farm for multiple reasons won't work, but one of the reasons, in fairness, is that boundary of the M69. That would be an absolute... it was just the drone of the noise. Didn't quite realise how bad that was. So yeah, completely agree with that. It was just, for what we want to achieve, I think that would be a bit much as well. So I'm going to get some of these completely wrong. So Clive Coulson's, good luck with it all. It'll work out in the end. And from the bits you have shown, all your kids look very happy, which is a mark of a great family. You are... good things happen to good people, mate. So thank you very much. And it's comments like that keep me going, keep the family going. Yeah, my family are obviously everything to me. And one of the major contributing factors of me doing this is that I can hopefully provide them a future in agricultural, and I'll take all the risks so they don't have to. They all have a keen interest in farming, outdoor pursuits, that sort of thing. And if I can get them an opportunity, which they might not necessarily have, by me taking the risk, then I think that is worth it in my eyes. So yeah, so thank you very much. There's some little comments on here. Mr. I have a 10-metre long raised bed that I grow, and I have hanging baskets for strawberries and lots of other herbs in pots. Yeah, sounds very similar to Steve, that does. I would work on your farm when you get it for the chance to rent an acre or two off you. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Depends where it is. Thunder Rod? Cheeky. Maybe you should look for an older farmer who needs help and be his apprentice for some time to build trust. Yeah, in fairness, that is a really, really good shout. I mean, there's a farm up the road from here, from where I am. Now, we did an extension for his friends, and long story short, but he allowed us to tip off all our dig out for his friend up at his farm. And when, this is a good few years ago now, and he hasn't got anyone else to leave that farm to. And I was talking to him years and years ago at the time, going, oh wow, this is an amazing setup, blah, blah, blah. And we'd love to come and help. And I have reached back out to him to see whether he had any land that we could potentially purchase off him. And he said, look, there is some land, but he doesn't own it. And we looked at it, but the problem is with it, there's some housing development. Here we go again. Housing development that's being built that neighbours up to that. And if you buy that patch of land, you're looking at all the overage and all that stuff. You've got to put the infrastructure in for this new phase, phase 2 of the housing estate, right? So I can't understand that. So all of a sudden, I've bought this land out of my money, and I've got to pay to put the infrastructure into a highways standard for you to then build onto your next bit to make millions on that, and then I have to also maintain it forever. Yeah, that ain't happening, and that's what I'm up to. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that's one of the things that I will be doing is now going, look, do you know what? I'll give up my weekends or whatever to help, and that's what I'll be doing, because I think it's the right thing to do. I don't know what. Captain Hunter NE14ABJ. You need to elaborate on that, matey. So I will do that. So it's great advice, in fairness. So we've got Nick here, Nick Y2H60. What is your budget to buy a 50-acre farm with a dwelling in the Midlands? So, like I said earlier on, what that is basically the budget is around £1 million. That's what I would ideally like to go underneath that, because it allows me to do things. But that's basically the budget of what we're sort of putting in on our search area, around that figure, to see where we can get for 50 acres with all that. Let me put that in as a postcode. That's what they're saying that is, right? So let me put that in on here while I've got you. What's that? NE14 NBJ. Sorry about this. You never know. You never know where it leads. No idea what that means. Nothing's coming up. It's a license plate joke. Are you into license plates? I didn't get it. Sorry, I apologise. Didn't get that one. So, Thunder are not to mention all those all those new homes complaining about the noise and smell of your sheep. I know. Yeah. I mean, this is so one of the lands. It's one of those things, right? So I used to do a lot of shooting. And one of the farms I used to shoot on, they're rural, they're rural. It's not like you're in, a neighbouring of a town or anything like that. They're rural, right? And what happened with that is you get a load of townies have come in, buying these lovely country homes that are all neighbouring up to, pheasant shoots, all these sorts of things, and then they complain. They complain like mad and go, well, I can't believe someone's shooting, Well, yeah, you move to the countryside, mate. That's what happens, and this is unfortunately, that'll be, again, we live in this society. Oh no, you can't do that. There's poo. I can smell poo. I mean, come on, have a word. It's just ridiculous. Like, people are just mad. If you don't like stuff like that, don't move to the countryside, right? It's the same farm. They had a problem when he grew maize. When he grew maize to feed his cattle, they kicked off with him because he put the exit he used, which he's entitled to, because, hey, he owns the land. They all kicked off and said, you've got a bit of mud on the road, which he put signs out and cleaned up. And it was just like, and to be fair, at the time, he said to me, Mike, don't go shooting over that end, because although he's got a massive pigeon problem at the time, he says, it's just not worth the headache. I was like, this is mad. Why do we do it? Why move to the countryside if you don't like country pursuits? I don't get it. Just stay in your lane. Like, I don't understand. It's like me coming into town and going, I don't like graffiti, but I want to live here. I mean, I hate going into town. I absolutely hate it. I think it's just not for me. And I get it. People like that, and they like the hustle and bustle. That's fantastic. You do you. That's okay. I'm just not for me. I just think we're all different people for that thing. But I would never go, oh no, you can't do that, because it's not countryside, and I like to be the countryside. But you're living in the town. Have a word. Yeah, so it annoys me, as you can probably gather. So Robert Simpson, you'll have to fence off the river off and mind that it floods. Okay, so that again is the farm. So basically, that one that we really did like, but it had a river that ran all the way through it, and I had to fence it all off and stuff like that. But yeah, I get all that. James on here, James Richardson. Do you know, sir, if you do livestock farming, would you get house passed more easily? Yeah, so I've touched on that a little bit earlier on. So just answering that one. So if you do just briefly on there, if you've just jumped on, if you're trying to get a house built on land that you own, you have to have a reasonable reason for it. Obviously, like the welfare of your livestock. So, and you have to run it as if it's a business. You can't just do it as a bit of a hobby. It doesn't really work. You're never going to get planning given to you on that basis, because they're looking at it going, well, why are you doing that? It's not, you're clearly just you're buying a big patch of land, put a big massive fancy house on. And that's the other thing is, some of these houses that people try and put on these are these mega houses, and it's clear that they're not really for a farming, because most farming houses, they just need to be practical. They get the job done, somewhere nice and warm, look smart, but not one of these like grand designs thing, because that's not really what you need. So yeah, so hopefully that helps on here. Let's go back. Yeah, I'd get what you're saying. People that move to the countryside and then start moaning about it. Yeah, it happens all the time. Up and down the country, people whinge about, you know, the move to the country, because they see it in a magazine or whatever, and they go, oh, this is nice, but then don't actually like anything to do with the country. So go back to the town. It's fine. Just move near a park. You know. So I'll go down a few more. Yeah. So 3204, Clive Sinclair. All farm machinery will break. Local dealer support is more important than the brand. Yeah, so that's referring to one of the videos we did. We put out a big list of what we were looking at purchasing on. So for us was the 50-acre farm. What we were looking at buying for that, and some of the bits that we were going on about is we'd like a 100 horsepower tractor with a front loader ideally to start off with, and then various different bits and bobs to go with that. And yes, and I agree with your comment on here, because without having your dealer support, it's going to be tricky. Now, not many people know that I actually have got a mechanical background originally. I used to be a mechanic when I first sort of left school. So I'm very practical when it comes to the machinery, maintenance, that sort of thing. But obviously that is going to be limited with all of this. So I completely get it. I mean, we've got some really good agricultural dealerships near here as well. So I went into Case, much to the annoyance of our youngest at the time, because he was very tired, and it was there. We were there so quite a long time, because once I'm into something, good luck, strap yourself in, because this is going to be a long ride. And it was just amazing, and I was just going around all the different various bits of kit, asking so many questions, and at that point we hadn't even had the offer accepted on the other farm. But I just want to, so for me, I like to do as much research as I can so I can hit the ground running. So when I see something, I know roughly what I should be paying, what I should be paying, shouldn't be paying for things. I think what I'll need to do as well now is I need to try and get to some agricultural sales. So that was something else that came off the back of one of these comments, is going out to farm auctions and things like that, and agricultural sales. And I want to go and do that, and do some filming at those. So one, I can do it for the livestock side of things, and also do on the machinery, so I can get a gauge of what things are going for price wise. So when I am ready, I can go straight to them and go, bang, right, that's mine, getting that's good value, I'm not being ripped off, and we're good to go. So one of the comments that we had was, which I've actually really have contemplated, is having a standalone tractor at 90 horsepower, something like that, without the front loader, and buying a telehandler as well. Now that's fine, but it just eats into the bigger pot of money. So for now, but I was looking at the smaller telehandlers that we could potentially use for our construction business. So it's a bit of a double-edged thing. But again, it's then, right, and then I need another trailer for that, to then tow that to somewhere else. And so there's all these bits, but obviously I'm just talking about the initial setup of what we're trying to do. Because it is obviously, as you can gather, a hell of an investment of what we're trying to do. So yeah, so it's been amazing. in fairness, the level of support has been wicked, and I think that's one of the things I just wanted to, like say I do really appreciate it, and it's nice to know that people have got behind us of what we're trying to do. Whether they think I'm mad and they just want to see it all fail, that's fine as well if you want, but at least we've tried. The other one that somebody mentioned about a telehandler that's got a 3-point linkage, I can't remember, I can't see the comment right now, but it's got a 3-point linkage behind the telehandler. Might be like an Agri Plus or something. I can't remember what it is. Somebody will mention it in the comments below. I looked at it and they're mega money. I think they're more of a European sort of thing on that side of things, and they seem to be really, really expensive. But then a lot of people have mentioned and said, don't get it if you're going to want to try and use that for field use as such, because they're too heavy, they don't really do the job properly. So I kind of thought it's a bit of a bust anyway, because it's too expensive and all the rest of it. So yeah, let's just go through this. Yeah, I'll get what you're saying about people moving to the country and start moaning about it. Yeah, so Y3N1X, have you thought about getting a skid steer telehandler combo? Yeah, yeah, I have. And so the dairy farm that I used to shoot on, another Paul, funnily enough, he bought one just in the latter time, and he wished that he'd bought one years ago. He said it was absolutely unreal. I think he had a Bobcat, a Bobcat machine that was, it was great. It saved him loads of time and stuff on that. But I'm not sure on the reach of it. So I think that's the bit that always concerns me on there. So if you've got one, let me know. Because I don't think the boom extends. So I think you're limited on height of. So what concerns me is if you've got a high-sided trailer, for example, for like with muck, would you still get that in there without dropping everything all onto the cab if it's over full? Because let's face it, we're all going to rush and just get it in there as much as you can. So I would be concerned about it, but it's not, like I say, I'm not ruling anything out, and I take everybody's advice on. Because hey, I'm learning, so I want to learn. So if you say no, Mike, that's the way to go, definitely get one of these, then yeah, we'll look more lean maybe into it. So yeah, Thunderrod Milo brand, too much for the use. Okay, Milo or Merlot on that, let me know. A tele skid is a 2-in-1. Oh, okay. So that's got an extendable boom on it. I take it on there. So I can't remember what it was. It might have been I'm going to call it like a baby Manitou. The one I saw, which would go on the back of a normal trailer, and you could be towing it behind your Hilux or whatever. I looked at that and I thought, actually, that might do the job, because realistically, the biggest things that I'm probably going to lift on there would be your round bales. That's the majority of the stuff, and then even for work wise, you're probably going to have, I'd say, like the big bags, which then they say everyone knows them as a ton sack, but they're not actually a ton. They're like 850, I think, around that sort of weight class. So I think they would do that, but obviously if it's anything like the diggers, the more out you go, the less that can be done, because of, obviously physics and all that, like tipping it over and all the rest of it. So yeah, so I'll definitely look into all those. That's the one bit I'm really, one of everything, really, really excited about doing is looking into all the machinery side of things, because I am, and always have been, fascinated by mechanical stuff. I always have been. I've always looked at it and gone, wow, that's amazing. How does that work? Oh, okay, that's good. Or can we, and I'm good at adapting things as well to make it fit a purpose. And also I'm a bit of a tool tart as well. So I love kit, always have done. That's why, we're sponsored by loads of different people with our main channel. And I'm really, really fortunate that I get to try out a lot of new kit. Which is, it's great. And it's because I'm really honest with it. If I don't like it, I'll say, and I'll say why I don't like it. But I'll never promote something that wouldn't put my hand in my own pocket for, if that makes any sense. Which is something that I'll be carrying over to, obviously, the Hard Hat Farmer. Is hopefully at some stage people get behind, and we get some endorsements and stuff like that. It'll be absolutely amazing, because it will help out for the future for the kids. And that's what it's all about, and raising awareness to obviously farming and getting people into it, because let's face it, I mean, we're in a right weird old world at the minute. Most of the country councils have farms they rent. Would that not be a way? Yeah, so right, so council farms, okay, so that's another great shout, because the council farms, again, is another one that we've been massively looking into. Again, the tenancies come up like few and far between, and you try getting hold of somebody for it. Now, one of my clients that I've not seen for quite some time, he moved away. I actually bumped into him yesterday morning, and it was great. We got chatting, because I knew he moved out to the countryside as such. And he now lives and rents off a big tenant farm, and he's going to go and ask the landowner whether there is any other tenancies come up, because all the farms, he was saying, around that area, which is ideal for us, is all tenant farms, and he was saying that they do a lot of 50-year tenancies on that. So yeah, I am looking into those as well, and it'd be an easier way, so it's less of a fork out money personally as well for that. So yeah, so I would definitely go down that road as well. So if you know of them, so there is a 280 acre dairy farm down here in Hampshire. Yeah, send us the link for it. I mean, obviously it's going to be a little bit far for us right now, but again, we're looking at it because it's all to do with the tender processes and all that sort of thing. So the more we know, the better. And Hampshire, I've got family actually live in Hampshire as well, so they live where is it now? It's just near the military base. I don't know what it's called, my mind's gone blank, but they live just outside there, because they're ex-forces as well. Thunderard, my day job, we MOD'd a JCB teleskid. It was a nice machine, but offers us little extra value for our asphalt work, since we go down more than up. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I'll look into all avenues, because it's really interesting, the kit side of things. I mean, because we've downsized the staff as well on our construction business to try and get a bit more back into creating more content for it, rather than faffing about with trying to keep everybody else in employment, which has been a bit stressful. It's what we've then done is lent into machinery. So we've lent more into machinery to replace the labour, which I know sounds awful, but it's actually a better way of doing it for us, because we've got to film more content and explore different avenues, and everyone else, in all honesty, everyone else has won in the business of how we've done it. So yeah, so I'm really intrigued, and we are hopefully be able to invest more kit that we can use, one on the farm and obviously one into the business as well, if that makes any sense. But so you're doing like driveways and all that sort of stuff, or is it like big commercial car parks and all that lot? So I know in the States they use skid steers for absolutely everything, don't they? Absolutely everything. Oh, wicked. Yeah, so where are you looking for equipment? So at the minute, I'm just getting a scout out online. There's nowhere in particular I'm looking for equipment, but like I said, I think what I'm going to do is going to start going to agricultural sales and have a little walk round. Now, Shell will freak out when I go and do these, because like I said, I'm very impulsive, and I always joke there'll be a tractor on the drive before we move there, and I'm not going to rule it out. it might happen. So yeah, so we're going to probably do that. But if you know of somewhere and you think, Mike, you're going to have a little look at that, let me know. You know, like I say, I'll definitely have a look. So yeah, that'd be good. I posted the link on your community page here on YouTube. Oh, wicked! Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. That farm is near Hook in Hampshire. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out later on tonight. No, it's really good of you. Thank you. Yeah, it's things like that is brilliant. Like I say, it's a community that we're building. Hopefully, we can all help each other out, and I think that's, to me, as important a thing to do. Try and help each other out and grow, really, and grow together. And like I say, originally I wasn't actually planning on creating the Hard Hat Farmer yet. I was going to wait until I got the farm and then launch it and all the rest of it. But I'm glad I haven't now. In some ways, I'm really glad that I haven't done it, and I'm glad that we've just jumped in full bore, 2-footed challenge and just gone for it. Because it's allowed me to feel that I am on the right path to what we're trying to do. I think it's the right thing to do, as you know, just everyone out, all in. There's too many people who like to see the downfall of others, and this is one of the things that I've learned in the last 2 years, that you're either wanting to pick people up, and like for me, I've always been like this. When people are doing well and really genuinely doing well in life, I'm really proud of them, and I think it's an amazing achievement, because you have no idea what they've probably gone to and gone through to get to where they are right now. And I think when you step back for a second and look at it, all the people around it actually just waiting in the wings for that to all go wrong, rather than going, well, actually, hey mate, I've heard this. You are aware of that, aren't you? You know, and it's that bit that I've now almost been awakened to, of going, no, actually, I'm not happy with the direction this is going, and I want to change that. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, so as human beings, we should always help each other out. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Just help each other out. You know, not everybody in the world is going to get on with each other. Not everybody's going to like me, you know, and that's fine. I'm all right with it. That's fine. There's billions of other people on this planet, and you don't have to like me. You don't have to like each and everyone else, but you have to be horrible. No, that's a choice. That is a choice. If you want to be a horrible, nasty person, then that is a choice that you make, but it shows more about you and what you're going through than it does of me as a person. So if you don't like me, don't watch me. That's okay. That's okay. You come back when you're happy, in a happier place. That's fine for me. Thunder rod. When I started, we used to cut the old asphalt in a small square and use pry bars to pop it out and throw it onto the back of a dump truck. But now with skid steers, the same. Oh yeah, God, I couldn't think of anything worse. Because also, like, even cutting asphalt, we just use a steel saw. It just eats through blades as well. Like, you wouldn't go out. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, don't envy that, mate. That sounds horrific. Yeah, not for me. And skid does the same 10 times the work and get paid more. It doesn't hurt at the end of the day. Yeah, and doesn't hurt at the end of the day. Yeah, so that is another thing. So we've just used one of the little tracked dumpers, the high lift dumpers, the other day. Got a small entrance, so we used the little track one, and we dug out all the footings. There was 3 of us as opposed to 6 of us. And we did it in tandem with bits. So we had the digger, the little micro diggers, we couldn't get anything bigger through. So we'd have that. And we had another lad inside the trenches scraping out where we need to and just keeping things loaded, and also like being a bit of a banksman and all the rest of it. And then we had one using the track dumper. So we were all sharing the roles, jumping in and out, you know, where he is, because obviously I can drive diggers and so can Sean. And then between the two of us, we're doing all these other bits, right? At the end of the day, yes, I knew I'd done a full day's work, but I wasn't absolutely exhausted. It was actually quite enjoyable, and I learnt my lesson very quickly then that, hey, this is the way we're going to do it. Machinery is definitely the way forward. We've even used a pump for the concrete pour for the first time in 20 years. And yeah, we ain't never going back doing it manually because it's stupid. I mean, obviously there'll be a tiny bit, but doing concrete pours for the footings, yeah, we're pumping everything in now. I'm not doing anything different. And I think that's the same thing, is you can buy. One of the things I learned when I went up to Scotland, and it really sort of hammered home with me, when I was speaking to John, he said to me, why the hell do you want to buy a muck spreader at 20, 30 grand, for example? Not that I was looking to spend that, but he said, look, for him, he runs a 1,000-acre farm. He said he gets tons and tons and tons of manure that needs to come out and muck. And he said, I don't even own our own muck spreader. I rent it in. It takes me a week. It's done. I rent it in, get it gone. I don't have to store it. I don't have to pay for depreciation. I don't have to do anything. It's done. It's 650 quid and you are up on all this other money. And I thought, do you know what? It really hammered it home for me, going, actually, yeah, this makes sense. So yeah, so it's definitely a benefit. How much do you think you'll be spending on equipment all in? It's a great question. And like I said, I kind of just touched on that. So after speaking to John, it has made me reevaluate a little bit on what I'd already released a video for. So because it depends on the farm that what we end up with, obviously that is a consideration. But I was budgeting initially to start with about 50 grand, I thought, around that area. But which is, depends on which way you wouldn't want to look at it. If it is you're buying new stuff, big commercial farm and all the rest of it, that 50 grand, nothing, absolutely nothing. But when you're looking at the size of farm that we're looking for, initially it's the startup. I thought that was a fair amount of money, and looking at it now, whether I need to spend quite that much, I probably don't. So one of the bits of advice John did give me, which I thought was great actually, was spend more money on your tractor than anything else, because the tractor's the one thing that you will use a lot in the type of farming that I have. Everything else doesn't really, it can be replaced fairly cost efficiently, or rented in when needed. And I thought actually that makes sense. So yeah, so around that sort of figure, mate, in fairness, for us. So I'm not saying I'm right, but that's what I thought was probably a fair cost, because we've got to get, let's say, as a quad or a buggy, depending on which way we go. Buggy will be safer for obviously Shell and the kids to be in, rather than a quad. But the quad's more versatile and obviously doesn't cost quite as much. So there's a few little bits and bobs like that, and then there was bits on it because I want to do as much as my own stuff rather than getting contractors in to do as possible, because there's two reasons behind it. One, because just having the pleasure of being able to do it myself. Two, and Lexi to be able to do it, and obviously for her then to set up her own contracting side of things for your smaller scale farmers, like obviously your equestrian places and all the rest of it, where they don't want to invest in equipment and all the rest of it. So there's that side of things, and also the content that it creates by doing that is massive. So I wouldn't want to come away from that either. So there's quite a lot, in fairness. So hopefully that's if you let us know if you think that's a reasonable budget or not, in fairness, because who knows? Like you say, it's all new. So I won't be on here much longer, guys, because I've been on here waffling on to you guys for just over an hour now, believe it or not. It's gone stupidly quick, in fairness. So I'll try and do some more online on live streams and stuff like that. I do quite enjoy them. I really enjoy, obviously, everybody who has messaged in, all the comments and stuff like that. It's really, really cool, and it really makes a big difference. I can answer and sort of get more and more involved with the comments as much as I can, with everything, and also to say thank you. It's yeah. So also just come by there. So watch the original equipment video, but what were you looking at buying? If you could remind me. Yeah. So on there, so we're looking, like I say, the tractor, front loader, tipper trailer, because on that farm that we were looking at there's so much stuff to move around, because there was loads of waste materials, but I thought a tipper trailer was quite good for obviously all the construction side and the business enterprise side of things that we've got to do. There was a topper, which I think I was going to rent in originally, and then a mower for doing my own grass, and then I think it was like a hay bob, that side of things. And I don't think I put down baler, and the reason why I didn't put down baler initially for year one, probably because of cost, for initial outlay, and just contractor in that in. But on that particular farm, I actually put down a hedge cutter because the hedges were absolutely mental. They've not been maintained for years and years and years and years, and because of the business enterprise side of things that I wanted to do, I wanted to try and get on with that ASAP, because obviously within the time scale that I had with all the old hedge police that we're not allowed to cut hedges now, within that time scale, I thought, do you know what, I'm never going to be able to find someone who's going to be able to come and do that hedges. So I thought, do you know what, I'll buy my own hedge cutter, practice on the ones where no one can ever see first, and then just go for it on the rest. I think it was that quad on the quad trailer. I think there was a normal flatbed trailer as well on there. I think it's a little while since I made that video, in fairness, but it's around that sort of area. Ben David Morgan, hi mate, you're right. Jumped on last minute, just about to do one. I think I've been on here for an hour, believe it or not. But thank you and welcome. Thunderrod, one thing that surprised me when I hired a contractor instead of being one is how many just don't show up when they're supposed to. Yeah, do you know what? I imagine that is the case. So I've done some electrical work for a contractor, funnily enough, on his farm, and it's a really tiny farm, but that is what he does. He's a contractor, runs a big contracting company. I know him fairly well, and he says he gets a lot of work from that, and because he's consistent, and that's how we do it. And obviously with my construction business, the amount of times I go out to a job and people go, oh, you've actually turned up. I'm like, well, yeah, I don't really understand why you wouldn't, if I got the wrong day and time. And it's no, I'm just surprised. We've rang loads of other people and they haven't turned up. So I think if you can be consistent in all aspects and say you're going to be somewhere when you're going to be there, then the job's pretty much half won, in fairness. And that's what we've found with our business. So yeah, so I imagine it's in farming as well, especially if you're doing baling. Oh man, the time window's short, isn't it, for all that? And you've got to get everything just right. And especially even, obviously, I imagine obviously way more in arable as well. I mean, imagine that's wow stressful if you've got to get your crops in and they just don't turn up. God, I mean, yeah, not looking forward to those. I don't really want to do arable at all, in fairness. I've got no real appeal to it, but I might be wrong. Who knows? Ben, I'll get a job on a farm. Okay. Just elaborate a bit more on that, mate. You mean you want to get a job on a farm, or you've got a job on the farm? Mr. Same with arable. You have to get the harvest right as well. Yeah, so yeah, I just touched on that there, mate. Yeah, so it's with arable, I imagine that is like playing Russian roulette every year, even more so, I presume, with livestock, I'm hoping. Anyway, so yeah, so I mean, I imagine, because we've had rain for practically a month straight, so I imagine that's caused some issues up and down the country. Yeah, like I said, I don't know enough about it, and that's just the thing. I want to learn everything as I can. So, you know, I'm looking at helping out on farms and all the rest of it, and gaining as much knowledge as possible, because I think that's what it's all about. So, if anybody knows anybody, like I say, either reach out to me on Insta, send a message in the DMs. That'd be amazing. If you got an opportunity for me to come and have a look and see how you do things, that'd be wicked. We'll definitely explore that avenue. That'd be great, in fairness, to try and also do a bit more. Got a track. I'm confused. What you're about? That got a truck. I'm really confused by that comment. Yeah, so we're getting there. We are getting there. Like I say, it doesn't feel like it at times, but I know we are. It's definitely, it's coming together. And I over anything else, I can't wait to share more with you when I've got more to do it. That's what I'm trying to be honest with you. Right, I'm going to shoot. Like I say, just want to say thanks to everyone who's jumped on. Really appreciate it. Keep sharing, keep supporting. If you hear of anything, let us know. And like I say, keep supporting all the channel with all the videos and stuff that we're putting out. The video, like I say, with Lexi on it that we just put on, like I said, that went out this evening. That was not planned at all. Just me and Lexi. Half the stuff that me and Lexi talk about in the van, I could not put that on YouTube. So, Jesus Christ, it'll get shut down really quick because it's just mental. But sometimes we try and share a bit if we can. So yeah. But thank you very much. Yeah, look after yourselves, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much for all the comments and interaction as well. So take care of yourselves, and see you soon.